Very interesting and significant table for our time. As you can see, in the verses, chapters in which this table appears, it is really the book of Numbers, but you can see it comes in few verses in chapter 29, chapter 3 and 2 verses, 3 in chapter 31, Numbers. So in fact, what you see here all appears in about 20, 22, 3 verses. Unbelievable, no? You need the statistics to tell you it is significant. You need common sense and straight mind and straight heart to see the truth. So what you have here, and how all those words are connected, and what is the important teaching for our time. So this is a table which I was looking before the invasion. You can see it. In fact, I brought it in YouTube in a long way with Rabbi Mendel Kessin, who spoke about it. But here we'll take the letter, the table itself, concentrating on it. So what you see here in red, Russia, in black, Tiflosh will invade. Yeah, I did before. Yeah, Tiflosh will invade to Ukraine in red. Ukraine in Hebrew. Ukraine, unbelievable. Only these words coming together in such a small area itself already far away from being coincidence. Then, what more we found and what is important is that our rabbis tell us that, especially in the sabbatical year, the seventh year of the Shemitah, in the beginning you have wars, milchamot. This our rabbis tell us in the tractate Sanhedrin 97a. In the beginning, wars like we have today. In the end of it, we'll have Messiah. No? Exactly where we are now. So, definitely looking on this table, we looked for the first thing you have here, Iyom, threat, because I did this table before the invasion, but I said it's a very serious threat. You have a threat, Iyom. Then, so as our rabbis tell us that even worse are preparation for Messiah. So I look very interesting. You have here the word achana, preparation for whom? For Messiah. You have it twice, Messiah. You have your small one in red and bigger one green, which is basically representing very likely the two Messiahs. The first one, son of Joseph, son of Ephraim, will prepare the way for son of David, son of Jesse, which also appears here, son of Jesse. Yeah, Ben Ishai. So let us see now what more you have in the table. So I said the basis is which I found that Russia will invade Ukraine, yeah, and then very, very important message here, and this is that those people, those nations mentioned here, have to do with Iran, who want to wipe out Israel. They say clearly now, with the help of Biden, the agreement, they are able to do it because they have this ballistic missile from Houthite, Taiman, the Houthite, and hundreds of thousands of rockets and missiles around Israel, north and south. No. Definitely, the danger is very, very imminent. And to save us, we need Shuvah. Now, amazing what Kabbalists tell me, I don't know the direct connection, but through the phone, they tell me whenever you see table which has to do with Messiah, preparation for Messiah, you should look for images of Purim, like Esther, which comes here. Cyrus was in the time, at that time, was a king of Persia and allowed Jews to settle in the land. And this is why he's called by the prophet Isaiah 45, chapter 45, Messiah of God. Yeah, because anybody who helps Israel to settle, recognize Israel, the prophecies, he has something for Messiah. Amazing. This Cyrus was called Messiah of God. This was Rabbi Cook, the Kabbalist, said that Donald Trump have the same thing, because he also recognized Jerusalem, Israel, and was initiator of the Abraham Code. So, no doubt that we had somebody, but then there came the Satan Democrat, which is the Gematria Satan, and the leftists in Israel who don't believe in the Torah and the Shabbat and God, turn everything over. And this is what we have today, all these troubles all over the world. Why? Because of this, because in a survey they did, more than 60% said that if Donald Trump would carry on, we would not have the troubles of today with Ukraine, Russia, as Netanyahu and Putin, Donald Trump were very close. So things could be different completely. But what is the Satan is strong, especially before the time of redemption. This is what they did. So we have here really Esther, you have Purim, you see, you have Purim. Very interesting with Cyrus, and remind us, in Purim was exactly like today. Also, at that time was Haman, want to wipe out Israel, young and old. The same thing today. We have Amanai. Yeah, and it's not coincidence. Amanai and Haman are the same, because Rabbi Isaac Luria says that the names, we know quite well, are from heaven to teach Jews with whom they are dealing. So Haman says Rabbi Isaac Luria have very, very strong letters of strength, which are men, Mansepach, from the 5 letters of strength, and the strong ones are Memnun. Yeah, Memnun, men. And then you have it in the middle of Aman and Amanai. And definitely Germany, Memnun, München, Memnun, Eichmann, Memnun, Mengele, Memnun, and also Khalmanitsky, the butcher from Ukraine at that time also. Now we know quite a lot of blood, Jewish blood, was shed by the Ukrainians, we know quite well, the Russian, Stalin, and so on. And Rabbi Mendel Kessin says this is punishment, the judgment. And amazingly, in the center of the table, you have the word down, judgment, and punishment. Unbelievable. The time comes, anybody gets what he deserves. Amazing. Comes here in the center, which is significant. Then what is also important, that you have here even the day, the 15th of Adar, which is Shushan Purim. In fact, when really the story of the skull of Esther happened in Shushan, comes here, clearly with Esther. And Vilna Gaon says that Esther was in the, like Messiah of Joseph, son of Joseph, because anybody who went to Israel has this spark of Messiah. Like Rabbi Cook said about, as we said, they're not done. Then you have in punishment, why? For anti-Semites. So who? The anti-Semitism in Ukraine at that time, and Russia, definitely, we have today still leftover of them. Okay, the surprise is that Jewish people lead Ukraine, but all this from heaven. Things are changed. But anti-Semites, this is really all the counts, punishment and judgment. Amazing. Then what we have here, we have Iran, because it's also the problems for Israel today. We have here, by the way, Crimea, because was also Rabbi Sellers, when remember in the time when the Russian invaded Crimea, that the state is also part of Messianic process. We don't understand why, but in fact, the Vilna Gaon said about what is going today, by the Russian. Then very important teaching of this table is that Amalekites, this is behind the evil forces who cause the troubles. And the angels of this Amalekites are many very famous. 2, the masculine and the feminine. The masculine is called Samael. Rabbi said Samael means he wants to wipe out the divinity, providence of God. This was exactly what these people are, like the small, the left people, leftists, don't believe in God, don't see God in the world. And Lilith, you can see in parallel Lilith, very interesting, because very strong evil force of lust, or lust, yeah? This is Lilith, we know quite well. So she comes here, and this, which is in our prayers, really, 3 times a day, Jewish people pray to God and ask, remove from us the evil forces of Samael and the Lilith, the masculine and the feminine, the source of evil, lust and pride. Then what we have is also very, very interesting. It is stable your future Messiah, said Messiah, son of Joseph, son of David, and son of Jesse comes here down. You can see son of Jesse. And very important thing, which is really the basis of everything, keep the laws. Asher Shiva Hashem et Moshe. You Jewish people keep the laws which God commanded Moses, and the non-Jews have to keep definitely the 7 laws of Noah. And the most severe one, exactly, which you don't keep, Obama and Biden allow, is abortion and homosexualism, which is one of the most severe of the 7 laws of Noah. And this one brought the flood to the world. And it is known, our Rabbi said us that flood of water will not come, but flood of fire and flood of plagues will come. This is what we have today, no doubt. So, to remind us, there is a God, there is a divine providence, and that things are happening to teach us. But as I said, the most interesting in this table that you have such small word of achana, preparation, and Messiah twice. One, I think, very good meeting of Messiah comes here and parallel, teaching, that, when there is punishment for anti-Semitism. People think they will, but there is mishpat. You have the Hebrew word mishpat, judgment, which is, will come out. And you give mishpat, So, let us hope that what is going now in the world, far away from being coincidence, and approaching Purim. Remember, Purim was also a time that the Aman at that time, Persia at that time, today we have also, and there was a danger of extermination for Jews. They listened to Esther, and Mordechai, they did Shuvah, but in the Holocaust, when Rabbi said, very famous, there is a book, in fact, in our book with Professor Aralik about quotes, the Holocaust in Bible code, we wrote many things what Rabbi said before the Holocaust. Is going to be a Holocaust if Jews will carry on translating the Torah, Sabbath, assimilation. And very famous what the Rabbi said, Rabbi Salanti said, you reform, start now a new doctrine. The German, Goebbels, also Gematria Amalek, Gematria Haman, will start doing laws against Jews to kill and to like Haman wanted. It was really basically, according to Kabbalah, the repetition of what happened in Purim, because the Rabbi tell us the decree of Purim was not cancelled, it was delayed. So it came out in Chalmanisky time. It came the Holocaust in Germany, when the reform started breaking the Torah and this. So, but we hope that now that also we have a danger of Holocaust, that the Jews will listen to the rabbis, will keep the Torah. Very, very, very dangerous in a situation, when we have such a government who are doing everything to do against the Torah, the desecration of Shabbos and so on. So we hope that the Jews will realize the situation in Israel and the whole world now, that only by keeping the Torah, only by faith of God, we'll be saved from this terrible threat that we have. So very interesting, a significant table, as I said, to have so many verses, related verses, all are right, in 20 verses, 22, is far away from being coincidence. So anybody with common sense, straight mind, no doubt you'll realize that it is important message in this table for our time, that if you want Messiah, son of Joseph, son of this, there is a way to do tshuva, to keep all the laws, chukim, asher tzivah Hashem, the laws which God commanded you. So let us hope that this will be, and this Purim will really have the end of this Amani, Amanai, and we'll get rid of all this anti-Semites, that we have today. And we'll have happiness and joy as we had in Purim, hoping that this will be. But everything depends on keeping the Torah, the laws of the Torah, 7 laws of Noach for Gentiles, and the rest, 613 for Jews.